Okay, there we go. I think we are ready to go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to SRL F1. It is round number 11 for the Hungarian Grand Prix. My name is TruthMaster22, and welcome to tonight's broadcast. And I'm joined, as usual, by VRT Ringers. How are you doing on this fine evening?
I'm doing very, very well. We don't have a large lineup tonight, but we do have quite a competitive lineup. We have a couple of new faces, EVR Reynolds, and is that Antsmaz, I believe. I do apologise if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Just 11 drivers, but this is a good opportunity to score some much needed points.
Yeah, definitely. Fortunately, we've only got 11 drivers on track today, but yeah, I think there's plenty of chance for the guys lower down in the order to get a good haul of points this evening. But yeah, we've got it's Antsmaz or Antonio Mazzuzo, if I hopefully pronounced that right, in the Ferrari. Good job, because he's Italian as well, so that works perfectly for him. And of course, EVR Reynolds, I think he's in STS F1 as well, so he should be pretty quick tonight. But yeah, Hungary tonight, very twisty, tight circuit. Some people say the Monaco without the barriers so close is difficult to overtake ground here, so mainly going to be down that main straight and on the first sector. But these guys are just starting their first laps on track, but it should hopefully be an interesting one, Ringrose. No 11 drivers, but last week's race was fantastic on Silverstone, so hopefully we can see the same again in Hungary.
Yeah, Hungary can always provide an interesting race. They do call it Monaco without the barriers, but I believe it's Monaco without the barriers. But the barriers are close. There's not many places for overtaking, so you're going to have to be very specific where you're going to make your move. As you said, the main home straight is probably the best place. Somewhere else could be the second DRS straight, going down into turn 2 again, but it is quite difficult to make a move into there. We will see what happens. We saw 2015 in real life as a very exciting Grand Prix. Hopefully we can have something similar with the 11 drivers here today.
Yeah, hopefully. And that is Jason going across the line with a 117.3 for the first lap on track. Hello to everybody in the chat. We've got Jack Wheeliebin123, a brilliant name. And we got Braders Bois. Okay, I presume that's a Kimi reference in your name. Bosley is here as well, so hello everybody in the chat. But yeah, hopefully it is good. Who else we got on track at the moment? That's Product going around the final bend in that Ferrari. Do you remember Kimi Räikkönen drifting around here one year? He drifted around that final bend, which was quite impressive. But Product comes across with a 118.2, just behind Langman actually. Mainly a bit further behind, but the current standings for SRL, still Jason in the lead, with Maranzano in second, Fighty Ted third, Oh My Goddess Joe in fourth, and Langman rounds off the top 5. Jason currently has a 72-point lead at the top of the championship, and he's had a great season in SRL. And Maranzano has had and Ted, all three have been up there the whole season so far. So if it can get another good result here, it'd be even better. And of course, those three had a fantastic battle around Silverstone. And if Ted hadn't had that lag moment, we would have seen him having his second win on the season.
Indeed we would. That was, again, very unfortunate for Ted there. Just one of those things that can't be helped. But as you were talking about the championship standings, second place man in the championship has just beaten Jason to provisional pole. Gone 4 hundredths faster than the Brit. So we know Maranzano is one of the most consistent drivers on the grid. We know that. So is Jason. Whereas, say, Langman and Joe have fallen off a bit towards the end of the season. I'd say.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But they've got the pace. They just need to show that they've got the consistency to stay at the top.
Yeah, exactly. Those guys are very competitive, but keeping that consistency is key. I think Maranzano is the king of consistency in the last couple of races. Currently in first, like you said, at 400ths ahead of Jason. So on board with Danny. Didn't have the best race in Silverstone, was leading at Silverstone, but then he had a bit of contact with Josu at Stowe, and that put him in the wall and dropped him down to fourth. But Danny comes into the pits, still hasn't set a lap with 5 minutes 50 left to go in the session. But let us know who you want to win in the Twitch chat for today's Hungarian Grand Prix. We'd love to see your predictions and your thoughts on the race. And if we can improve anything in the commentary, let us know as well, because we always love that positive, constructive criticism. There we go. But rainfully, hopefully not, because not the biggest of grids. It's going to spread out even more. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, everyone seemed to be coming in the pits at the moment. Ringrose to put a new set top and set a second far.
We only have 5 drivers out of the 11 so far that have actually set a time. So maybe a few guys have made mistakes on the laps and decided to come into the pits, put on a fresh set of boots, give it a bit of a splash and dash, and go out for the final few minutes of the session.
Yeah, so not too long left. Who is that? Bosley, when is my Austria highlights out? That will be out on Wednesday, Bosley, for AOR. But we're not talking AOR, we're talking SRL tonight, and not AOR. But yeah, 4 minutes 35. Should we do some predictions, Ringrose? Who are you fancying for pole and the race?
For pole, I think it's got to be between the consistency kings, Maranzano or Jason. I think Jason's just going to take it from Maranzano.
Okay.
But we've said this a lot. We've said this word a lot so far, this commentary. But consistency is key around this circuit. It's a very technical circuit. Lots of tight, twisty turns, a couple of blind corners, long apexes. You know, you've got to have confidence around this circuit. And I think that's exactly what Maranzano, Jason, Danny, Ted, they all have that, you know.
Yeah, no,
but
definitely.
You've got to have the confidence and have a really good feel for the car around this circuit. I think Jason and Maranzano, we've spoken about them a lot again, but they have seemed to have the best feel for the car this season, in my opinion. But I'm going to say Jason today, with Maranzano in second, and I'm going to put Danny in third.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
that's a great. That's a very good choice of podium. We've seen all 3 of those drivers do very well in this season of SRL. I think I'm gonna say the same, but I'm gonna switch Maranzano and Jason around. I'm gonna put Maranzano to win, Jason second, and Danny third. But I don't know. Ted is up there as well. No, I'm gonna stick with Danny. Danny third, but Ted will be right on the back of those guys, and so will Project as well in this race. But we've still got 7 drivers yet to set a lap. Sorry, 7. We've got 5 drivers left to set a lap in this race. So it's still 2 minutes 35 to go. So still enough time for two laps if they're just about coming towards the end of the lap now. So on board with Ants Maz, the new addition to this race. Currently 1.6 seconds off the pole. Round very wide on the penultimate bend, and that may be a DSQ, but he comes into the pits. Is he going to have time to come out again, Ringo? Will he have time? Maybe just about, but he's cutting it fine, I think, the new driver.
It's going to have to be a very quick turnaround. He's got about 40, not even 40 seconds to get out. In, out, new tyres, and across the line.
As Maranzano.
It's going to be very tight. I don't think he's going to be able to make it.
Yeah,
I think that might be a session over.
Oh, may get out in the next 10 seconds maybe, but doesn't look like Ferrari taking their time, as Italians usually do. Maranzano goes another 10th quicker. Well, so we got Danny coming around the final bend. Is that to start a lap, or is he? I think this is a proper lap. We'll see. Comes across the line. Danny goes first. Wow, it's 5 tenths half a second quicker than Maranzano. Danny is a man to watch in this race today, guys. A blistering lap from the Force India driver. Let's see if Maranzano
He's a man
can
on
reply.
a mission.
He is a man on a mission, isn't he? Who else have we got? So I'm just looking at the chat. We've got, how do you say that? Valenio from the Xbox Asia Pacific League. So hello to him. But Maranzano comes around the final bend. He isn't going in the pits. Will this be a lap from Maranzano? We shall see. Comes around the final bend. As the project has retired from the session. Will Maranzano go quicker? No, okay, she's starting a lap now then. So you've got 30 seconds. He's got enough time. Jason comes across, coming around the final bend as well. He is starting his final lap. DRS open, as you can hear by the little click. Project is retired in a really awkward place there at turn 1. Ted still yet to set a lap, so we still have a couple of drivers still to set a lap at the moment. He's just to get around one more lap. Yeah, just about. So he's got as a one-shot quali for some of these guys, Ringrose, at the moment. So still Ted, Reynolds and Ollie still to set a lap in this race.
Yep. Well, the three guys. Danny isn't going to better his lap. Maranzano is going through the S section. That bit's all flat. Little lift there. Going into the final sector. 2 tenths up according to his delta. What can Maranzano reply to Mr. Danny M7? What is he going to do? Coming around the final couple of corners now.
It's going to be a big ask.
Nice. It's going to be very, very close. I don't think he's going to beat it. He's come within 2 attempts, but it's not enough. Jason is up on his lap. EVR Reynolds has gone up into 3rd. Jason takes 3rd from EVR Reynolds. EVR Reynolds to P4. What can he do? And he can. P4 for OMG It's Joe. A 117.1 from the Mercedes driver. I think it's Ollie. It's on a lap now. And by the looks of it, he is coasting. So that is your qualifying over for Hungary.
Bit of a dramatic finish there as Ollie goes very sideways across the line to finish 11th. Not the best from Bottas, as he otherwise known as. But hello everybody in the chat. It seems the chat is really buzzing at the moment. This is I haven't seen the chat so busy in a long time. But yeah, Danny takes pole with Maranzano in 2nd, Jason 3rd, Oh My God It's Joe in 4th, Reynolds 5th, Langman in 6th, Melanie 7th, Project in 8th, the new man Ants Maz in 9th, Fighty Ted in 10th, and It's Ollie rounds off the 11 drivers. Ted is one to watch. Ringrose down in 10th place. No lap, interestingly, but one to keep an eye on for the race.
Yep. I mean, there's a few drivers. The top 6 covered by around 6 tenths. But we've seen that on some circuits, these drivers can be separated by huge amounts, some not so much.
Just double check, because I never actually check. Do we lap or not? Okay. Okay, right. So it's a commentary for the next 2 minutes or so, behind off the start. There's usually you can't really have a 2-man commentary off the. So yeah, just waiting for a little setup. So it looked like no rain for today. So we're going to see some blistering lines around the tight and twisting circuit. I think it's Budapest. If I'm wrong, let me. I think it's Budapest. Be completely wrong. My knowledge isn't fantastic, but 80 or so seconds to go. How the chat? Let us know your thoughts are on who you think's in the chat. I've heard what me and Ringrose have got to say. So we do have formation lap on. So we're going to have one lap of these guys warming up the tyres, getting used to the circuit. It looks like everybody's on the soft tyre. Let's double check that. Everyone's on the soft bar. It's Ollie. So everybody's sort of on the same strategy here. Who is that other Force India we've got here? Just double checking. EVR Reynolds, okay. So
Danny.
Reynolds is... Reynolds is... Yeah,
oh, right.
yeah.
Right, okay.
Just double checking who the other one. They were right next to each other. Wasn't sure who the other one was. But yeah, just doing their formation lap now, Ringrose. So they're just warming up the tyres, getting used to the circuit on race day with their car full of fuel, which handles quite a lot differently with than a one-lap quali lap car. So this should hopefully be a good race today, and hopefully no crashes. But you know, both know we always commentators curse people, and knowing us, someone will crash because of one of us saying something.
Yeah, as you mentioned about the fuel situation, it's especially going to affect them a lot around this circuit where there's a lot of high-speed turns, and that's really going to sort of mess up the balance. Obviously, they're going to know that it's going to do that, but the balance will feel a lot different as it did in qualifying, and that's just one of those things. One of the characteristics of the car on heavy fuel. But as they come round the final corner to line up on the grid, hopefully we should have a good race. Interesting to point out, Ted is down in P10, so interesting to see what he can do from, well, it's probably the worst position on this grid. Considering P11 gets free tyre choice.
Yeah, definitely. Spawn Praise thinks we'll do it, and Neon thinks... sorry, Neon. As Brad thinks it's Danny. But here we go. The race is about to start. That's 5 red lights for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and away we go. I am a really funny camera angle. That is better. But Danny has to go to the inside line. You got Maranzano going almost side by side. Jason is directly behind Danny, and almost 3 abreast coming into turn 1. Everybody nice and clean through turn 1. Reynolds is trying to go around the outside. He's been pushed off by Jason there. Maranzano still in second as they come down towards turn number 2. Jason on the back of Maranzano. Does he dive to the inside? Maranzano goes a little bit wide there, but he keeps second place. Everybody nice and clean.
Come far in the midfield, not sure who that was. Who's that? Right? Is that Reynolds round? Reynolds has spun. Who has spun? And Tasmaz. So that leaves EVR Reynolds right down at the back of the field, losing 6 positions after that. That is not ideal in his first race of the season. But Ted into P6, so a good start from the Toro Rosso driver.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of contact there, Reynolds, and I'm not sure who the other car was. I'll check it back later. Danny goes very wide, so was Joe coming around in sector 3, but the front runners, everybody's clean. Like you said, Ted, a brilliant start for the Toro Rosso driver, up in 6th at the moment, but they stay on board with Maranzano, who's under pressure from the championship leader as they come round the final bend. Of course, no DRS yet, and the problems with the slipstream in this game, but he might work as Danny, of course, has the fastest lap. But will Jason dive it down the inside of Maranzano? He looks for the move, but decides to pull out. That's Ted getting past Langman on the first bend. Langman trying to hang it around the outside, doesn't manage to do it. Will he try the cut back as they come towards turn 2? Looks a little bit too far back, and Langman is staying down in 6th place at the moment. Joe up in 4th, Jason ahead. Top 3 getting a little bit of a ollie, and Antsmaz in the pits, both on a set of medium, so they're going to try and go to the end on those tyres. But everyone's still pretty bunched up at the moment, Ringos, as of course we're only on lap 2 of 35.
Yeah, only on lap 2. It's going to be a long race for these drivers. 35 laps around this circuit will get very, very tiring towards the end, but consistency is key over a 35 lap race round a circuit like this. Yellow's in sector 1, who's that? That is Antasmaz, has spun at turn 3 and he's now 11 seconds behind Ollie, so maybe made a little mistake there, which is not ideal for the Ferrari driver on his debut.
Yeah, not ideal. Danny has a new fastest lap, and DRS is now enabled, so we should see some more overtaking going into turn 1 and 2, hopefully, as Danny is still in first with Maranzano and Jason right on his heels. And oh my gosh, Joe and Ted aren't too far back as well. Langman has lost a little bit of time to Ted, 2.6 seconds now behind the Toro Rosso driver, who's looking very tasty behind Joe, actually. And further back, Langman is under pressure from Project. Well, not the best start from the Ferrari driver, but he's looking very racy behind the the Renault driver, and Melanie is looking for a move. Oh, almost going to move into this chicane, a horrible chicane to drive. If you hit the curb too much, you are going round for a little spin. Reynolds for the bow, and Reynolds is off. I shouldn't have said anything. Where is that? I'm trying to figure out where he is on track.
That is just about to go into the chicane.
Okay, lost a bit of traction, and he is out of the race. EVR Reynolds is retired himself, but back on board with the front runners. Project has got past Langman. That is in what turn? That was turn 12. It looks. So Langman by side as they come through the final bend. Project goes very wide there, and he's lost another place to Melanie. Melanie up to 7th place now. They're almost side by side. Langman right on the back of gearbox of Melanie as they come down towards turn 1. He goes for the inside line. Melanie's going to have to hang it around the outside. Will he make the move stick? He's pushing Melanie wide there. He's got the move on the little telemetry, but Melanie pops it back down the inside, but chooses to stay behind Langman around turn 2 and 3 for now. But Langman, not the best race so far from the Renault driver Ringrose, and he'll really be trying to push and get towards the front of the front of the pack.
Yeah, Langman seemed to struggle at the start of the race, losing out to the front runners, and really doesn't seem to be on the pace. He's already dropping back from Project. Maybe he has a bit of front wing. He's got a bit of front wing damage, which he's nursing. That might be man's lack of pace.
Okay.
Yeah, Melanie's just got through, so if you go on board with him, you'll see he's got a large chunk of his left end plate missing on the Renault. So whether he might come into the pits and decide to fix that, because he's losing so much time. Indeed he does, so...
Oh no, he's missed it! Oh no! Oh, okay. Reversing on track, is that
Let's
okay?
go over and might get investigated after the race. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, no, not the best there, but just back on board.
And to add to his worries,
no.
5 seconds stop-go penalty, speeding in the pit lane there for Langman. So it's not been the best of races for the AOR F1 driver.
Yeah,
front wing change.
Ideal. Yeah, not ideal for Langman there, but back up at the front. Joe gets a 3-second penalty flatting. Joe, he got double check.
Yeah,
no, he's
Ted's
okay.
got ahead of him.
Yeah,
Ted's
Ted
got ahead of him somewhere.
Ted's had a great race so far.
But yeah, he's made up 6 positions off the start. And as long as everyone finishes this race, they will be getting a World Championship point.
Yeah, and
as long as they finish. It's got to happen first.
Yeah, exactly. But let's get back on board with Jason on the back of Maranzano. Currently our prediction is right, Ringrose, but in the wrong order. But Jason on the back of Maranzano. It's currently 5/10, a little bit too far behind to make any sort of move. He's gained a little bit of time. Langman gets a 3-second penalty, so that adds to his 8 seconds worth of penalties now for the Renault driver. Not ideal. He's on the mediums, down in 9th. Currently on lap number 6. That looks like Danny puffing up a bit of smoke from locking up his tyres. Let's keep an eye on the gap between Ted and Jason. 9 seconds at the moment, and he'll be pushing his arse off to try and catch up with Jason ahead and battling for that lead. And I think Bradders is right, and Langman has lost his cool, and that's why he's dropped back and caused more penalties. But back up at the front, Jason 2-3 tenths behind Maranzano. He's right on the back of him at the moment, Ringrose. But of course in sector 2 and 3 it's so difficult to overtake at this track.
Yeah, it doesn't help that I don't think slipstream's working, to be honest with you, which is a shame because I think we might have been able to see some battles. But it's a difficult track to overtake anyway. But when you don't have slipstream, it makes that a whole lot tougher.
Yeah, definitely, and unfortunately the game is still broken. And Jason, he's just he's struggling to get out of the final corner. The traction isn't great for Jason. He's very close there, but yeah, probably of course the game is still unfortunately broken. A lot of people, including yourself, have gone over to iRacing to race on there because it's a stable game, rather than this. I don't even know what to call it. they call it a sim, but it's really not. It's an broken arcade game. But enough about this game. Back on board. Still on board with Jason. Ted is getting 3/10 on him, so he is getting there ever so slowly. Maybe he can do some sort of pit stop, jump, an undercut or an overcut. But Maranzano and Ted are going to have to be careful with each other. I think they're in the same party. They shouldn't double stack for Toro Rosso. But we've seen stranger things happen in SRL this season. But the top 4 aren't split by that much at the moment, Ringers. So hopefully they sort of congest together and we can have some battling on track.
Yeah, that would be nice. We don't want another RBZ moment where in China he decided to put on a set of the intermediate tyres. And he was in action, but see that today. I think this race is definitely going to be based on when you stop and when's the best time to stop. Joe comes in, so Mercedes driver is obviously listening to us about pit stops and decided to come in, put on a set of medium tyres, and Langman is all over the back of It's Ollie, otherwise known as SCS F1 Bottas.
Yeah, they're both these drivers at the back of the grid, and I think Langman is the quicker driver out. Both these guys will stay on board as they come around the penultimate bend. Oh, Langman very close to his gearbox as he comes around the penultimate bend. Will we see a move here? Langman going a bit wider, try and get a better run through the final bend. He is all over the back. Ollie taking a very strange line from that final bend, but Langman is going to get him way before. It looks... No, Ollie still has the inside line. Who is better on the brakes? Who has the bigger balls? It looks like they have equally sized balls, but they're both touching wheels there as they come round turn 1, turn 2. Langman has the inside line. Will Bottas hang it round the outside? He seems to do still no contact. Great driving from both these drivers. Ollie still has the inside line, but Langman, oh, they're pushed a little bit wide. There's a bit of contact there. Still side by side. Surely you can't go side by side through this turn. No, Langman takes the lead there. Ollie goes wide, and Langman moves up into 7th place. A great driving from both these guys, battling for P8 and P9, and it looks like Langman has made that position stick. We'll keep an eye on that battle later later on. It seems to be Jason and Maranzano are still very close, but Jason, I think, like you said, I say that Jason's tried it up the inside, but that hasn't worked there on turn 2. But I think, like you said, Ringrose, I think the slipstream just isn't working at this game, and you saw Langman had DRS and just couldn't get past as well. Round It's Ollie there on lap 8.
Yeah, there's always the chance that Ollie's running lower wings, but it's just such a drastic difference between the two that it just doesn't seem right. But the top 4 seems to have closed up a bit more. Joe's in the pits, so has come into the pits, so it'll be interesting to see which driver of the top 4 decides to pit first, 2 of them being of the same team. So is Danny or Jason going to decide to make a move and come into the pits, or will it be one of the Toro Rosso guys? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think at the moment...
Maranzano comes in. Maranzano in the pit lane, so they're obviously discussing. And Maranzano thinks it's best to get the undercut over Jason and maybe even Danny. Sorry to cut you off there, Chuck.
No, I was just going to say these guys are so close that it's all going to depend on how quick their pit stops are, depending on the team, and it'll be interesting to see where they come out, as Maranzano comes out on the soft tyres in 6th place. But of course, Project and Melanie ahead of him have not yet pitted, so Maranzano a little bit of clean air, so he's going to have to put his foot down. But will this force Danny, Jason and Ted to pit? We'll have to wait and see as they're coming round in sector 1 and 2. Danny's still in the lead. Not the best race out in Silverstone last week after spinning. Still got 4th, which is a good result, but it could have been so much more. And I think another mistake by going onto the mediums as well, and he couldn't really gain on the top 3. So going through sector 2, Jason 1.8 seconds behind. Ted, the same gap behind Jason. Project a further 6 seconds behind. And we've got Melanie and Maranzano, and everybody else seems to be on the mediums because they're pitting very early. Around. Is it high tyre wear here, Hungary Ringers, do you know or not?
I know in SRF 2 some of the guys did a 1 stop, so they did super soft to medium, but Oh, Ted did a half spin there around the final corner. He's lost about a second off, maybe just a second on Jason there, so that's not going to help. That might even allow Joe to get past, but I think Joe's maybe a bit too far behind from the pit stops when Ted does come in. But if Ted's struggling and Joe is faster than Ted, you never know. Ted might get jumped back past by Joe.
Yeah, potentially. But the guys in the chat reckon Maranzano's doing a two-stop ring rose because he's pitting too early. And a lot
it's
of
on the softs as well.
Yeah, a lot of people.
It's not possible. He's probably going to go into another set of the super softs towards the end of the race. See what he can do on these. He lasted about 9 laps on them, 10 laps plus qualifying, so you can probably get 16, 17 laps on these tyres, and then maybe more. We'll have to wait and see, but my bet's going to say another set of super softs at the end of the race.
Yeah, but the guys in the chat, Bosley reckons a one-stop super soft to medium, and Drampage reckons one-stop was trash, and he caught a lot of the one-stop people. So people with different strategies, as Ted is in the pits, and he is going on to softs as well. It looks like. So Ted maybe doing a two-stop as well, unless he can...
Similar strategies.
Yeah, but Maranzano.
I mean, he's not. Don't think he's gonna be able to do 23 laps on those. We will see. Comes out just ahead of Joe, so that's gonna prove very, very vital for this race. Both of these drivers are most likely gonna have to pit again. I think Joe pitted around lap 8, so yeah. Be fun. Similar strategy to Maranzano, just pitted a few laps later. It'll be interesting to see if they jump Jason and Danny though. Jason has really caught up to Danny.
Yeah, he has. Since being released by Maranzano, Jason has caught right up to the back of Danny. And now they're still... Oh, no, Danny and Jason both in the pits. Okay, it's the battle of the pit crews. Force India versus Haas. Danny very close to him there. So Force India will be first in the pit lane.
Projects in as well.
Okay. Melanie takes
mediums
the lead
for Danny.
of the race.
Soft mediums for Jason. So where's Maranzano going to be in this? Maranzano's taken a lead.
He's taken both of them.
The Grand Prix. Net leading. He's got a decent gap as well. Ted's not too far behind. So that is not what they will know, that seeing Maranzano and Ted on the softs, they are most likely doing the two-stopper. So Maranzano is going to be pushing at this point.
Definitely.
So we will see what happens there, but 3.3 seconds between Maranzano and Melanie now. For the lead of the race, it won't be long before Melanie comes in, I don't think.
Yeah, Melanie's been out there since the start. But yeah, Maranzano's going to have to put his foot down if he wants to make this two-stop work. It's currently 3.3 to Danny, and that is dropping already. Ted on the back of these guys. Ted's going to have to get past really quickly if he wants to make anything of this race as they come through towards the final sector, the final couple of bends. Ted is on the back of Jason, but Jason will have DRS from Danny ahead as long as he doesn't bottle it around the final 2 bends. It looks like he gets it around there very easily. So Ted on the back of Jason. Will we see a move from the Toro Rosso driver? You have to get past to make that two-stop work. DRS has now been opened. Ted does a new fastest lap. Will he make a move down the inside of Jason? He looks for the move but pulls out of it last minute. I think Jason is benefiting from Danny's DRS ahead of him. But Ted is on the back. Danny's had to go defensive. No, Jason's gone defensive. Ted tries to go around the outside. I don't think it's going to work there. Oh, he's been pushed by Jason and almost makes the move work. But Jason keeps third place for now. But Ted is looking really racy on those soft tyres compared to Jason and Danny on those mediums. But yeah, Ted's going to have to get past as quickly as possible. As Jason, was that Jason with a 3-second penalty, Ringers, or am I wrong? My eyes deceiving me.
I'll double check the race director. It is yeah, that's well, we don't usually see that from Jason, but you know, we will see.
Yeah, that might come into play after.
Might be his first penalty of the season.
Might be, yeah. Well, I haven't seen many Jason come up usually in the penalties. It's usually the guys further back who are getting the penalties. Project gets a penalty there, but Jason will not have DRS this time round, so we could see a move from Ted. Project has retired. Where did he crash? Yeah, he's crashed. Where's that? That's the second to last bend. He's crashed, but back on board with Ted and Jason. Ted down the inside, down turn 1. And Ted pulls a move off. Will Jason try it back at turn 2? He's a little bit too far back for now. Yeah, it looks like Ted will take P3 for now. So he's going to have to put his foot down to get past Danny as well. And Maranzano has got the lead a bit. He's only gained 2 or 3 tenths on Danny, so he's really going to have to be a lot quicker if he wants to win this race with a 2-stop Ringrose. Not really gaining anything at the moment.
No, as Ted gets up, Maranzano is really going to have to start pushing at this point. Otherwise, you may have to settle for P4, maybe even P5, depending on what Joe's doing. We don't quite know what Joe's doing with his strategy, but we believe Danny and Jason will be going to the end of the race. We'll have to see about Ted. It's going to be a struggle. I don't think he can make softs to the end work. But
yeah,
see
the way he's pushing at the moment, he's not going to get them to the end the way he's driving, but he does have DRS on Danny as they come down to start lap number 16. A little bit too far back at the moment. Will he try a turn? A move round turn 2, he gets a good line out of there, but Danny he put the foot down a bit earlier than Ted, and he's going to keep P2 for now. You have to wait potentially until the DRS, as It's Ollie has retired. Where has he? He's crashed at towards the end of the circuit. That turn 11, I think. Am I right in saying he's come wide at turn 11?
He's probably come off. Might be turn 11, I'm not quite sure on turns, but he's probably just lost traction on the curve, gone flying into the wall on the right, and then obviously come across the track. He's lost his right tyre, so
yeah. And actually, as we were looking at Bottas, Ted has got past Danny Ringrose, so Danny down to 3rd place now, and Ted will be on the hunt with Maranzano. They'll try and be working together to beat Danny and Jason, who are behind, but Ted's really going to have to put his foot down and really push if he wants to catch Jason in the championship. Ted currently in 3rd in the championship. He's there's only 4 points behind his teammate Maranzano, but Maranzano further 72 points behind Jason, after Jason getting 4 wins in a row on China, Bahrain, Russia and Spain. So he's really going to put his foot down if he wants to get anywhere in the championship. Still a long way to go though. Still after today we still have 8 races in the championship to go. But Ted he is gaining on Maranzano ahead. And Danny and Jason of course dropping back now off the back of Ted because of the tyre difference, but still, like I said, there's still a long way to go in the race, Ringers, and anything can happen in SRL at Hungary.
Yep, anything can happen. We don't know. We've still got almost just over half the race to go, and Ted and Maranzano both all on different strategies compared to everybody else. So be interesting to see when they decide to come into the pits and what happens with them. Yeah,
10th of as they start lap 18. Maranzano does Langman disconnected? Yeah, Langman's disconnected. He's left the session. So F1 2017 strikes another driver again, I found I was just doing some noob journey last night, Ringrose, and we had, I think, out of a grid of 15, we had 8 disconnects in a short circuit race. So that was an absolute nightmare. And yeah, I think the game is plaguing these drivers. Langman retires. Hopefully he can get back into the lobby, because currently we've only got 7 drivers if we don't count him left. So yeah, not the best turnout tonight, unfortunately, for those who are watching, but still plenty of good racing on track, and hopefully we will see more once the drivers get a little bit closer and once the strategies play out. But 18 out of 35 laps done already at Hungary. But don't forget to tune in at, I believe it's o'clock for F1 League, so don't forget to check that out as well if you want some more action this evening. I'm sure it'll be another tasty race in the PS4 League, and hopefully they have a bit more drivers than we do tonight in Hungary tonight, Ringrose.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Well, should be a good race. On the other console, that at the moment we've got a similar issue we've had in a lot of races. It's probably a mix of both the new cars and the game, where there's a lot of drivers within a short space, but they can't do anything with that space.
Yeah, I think that's the plague of these modern cars is difficult to overtake. And I know it's a game and real life is totally different, but these guys are struggling with the real life problems with trying to stay in that dirty air behind the car in front. But Ted has gained a lot of time now. It's not too far, 2.2 seconds behind Marazan. Mr. Consistent in the league so far, second in the championship. But Ted isn't really gaining much, sort of getting a gap to Danny. He's only 1.7 seconds. So he's, I don't know, at this rate, I think Danny might lead after Ted and Maranzano come into the pits as Joe gets another penalty in Hungary. Not ideal, but I don't know, unless Maranzano and Ted are gods on their tyre wear, they're going to have to come in and they're going to lose a chunk of time to Jason and Danny.
Yeah, they are. Obviously they're going to be on quicker tyres at the end, but everyone is struggling to pass now, and they've got such a gap to climb. So it'd be difficult to make that time back in so little laps.
Yeah, I think they would also lose a place to Joe as well if they did come into the pits. So
yeah, I believe Joe might have to pit again though.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't see tyre wear. That's one thing that Codemaster needs to bring in is see if we can see tyre wear. That would be perfect. As just on the board with seeing the gap to leader, just seeing that Joe is 11 seconds, sorry, 10.8 now behind the leader. Manley is doing the same strategy as the top 2. He is on the soft tyres at the moment. But at this rate, our podium may be Danny and Jason on the top 2 spots if Ted and Marazan don't put their foot down. But still plenty of time to go in this race. Let us know your thoughts in the chat. I know it's not the most exciting race, but it can't be worse than Baku. So we can't really complain, Ringrose.
No, I mean they are a lot closer than Baku. Baku was a very, very dull race. Very dull. Yeah,
I think maybe the worst commentary because nothing happened. That's the Baku.
Joe's in the pits, so
yeah,
he's obviously super soft. So Maranzano and Ted should be in the pits very soon, as there's a lap Ferrari.
Get past nice and easily. Yeah, good job from Ant-Maz as he gets out the way nice and clean for the top 4. They're still not too far spread out on track. But Joe into the pits, he's got 11 laps on those, 14 laps on those super softs. Should be able to get to the end if you can do it at the start, and with less fuel in the car, that would be nice to do. But Ant-Maz in his first race at the moment will finish in 8th, and he will get points. Joe gets another penalty. I think Joe's on 9 or 12 seconds worth of penalties now, Ringrose. So even if Joe manages to catch up with Ted and Maranzano, he's not going to be able to overtake them due to all those penalties he's got. He's had since when I joined in the commentary box back in, well, I can't remember, was it? Well, I think it was until the third or fourth race in the season. Joe's really had a torrid time in the league, and really not winning any races. He's only won Australia, but since then he hasn't had a win.
Yeah, Australia, he had a really good race, but since then he's just sort of dropped off and sort of became just sort of a sick fifth place driver, and he needs sort of higher finishes if he wants to get anywhere near that championship. But if he carries on as he is, it's just going to fall further and further away from him.
Yeah, Joe currently 80 points behind Danny in the championship. There's still time, but he's really have to put his foot down if he wants to get anywhere in the championship. Melanie up in fifth, a good spot for him, but he is being caught by Joe pretty rapidly. Tyre difference, and of course Melanie will have to come in and pit again on track. But yeah, still nice and sunny here in Hungary, so that's nice to see. No spins. I didn't expect any crashes actually, but we've had two drivers crash out, one just leaving. Well, technically four, because Langman is currently disconnected still. But Ted is catching Maranzano down to 2 seconds now, so we should see a move pretty soon from the Toro Rosso boys, potentially team orders. They have used that in the past, Ringrose, so we may see it again on track.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a bit too far apart at the moment for Maranzano to slow down and let him past.
Yeah, he'd lose 2 seconds, and it's probably not worth it in the strategy that they are doing. Again, we'll have to see what happens. We've still got some Maranzano, and Ted will be in the pits very, very soon. But I think it's going to be battle between Jason and Danny for this win. Yeah,
at the moment that is the battle, because Maranzano and Ted are going to have to pit again unless they've got some sort of super tyre wear that doesn't exist. They're going to have to pit. I don't think they can get to the end on the soft tyres. But Danny 1.2 behind Ted. If anything, he's gained time on Ted. It was a bit more earlier on in the race. But yeah, still we've got 14 people watching. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. Unfortunately, it's not the best race in the world, but we're trying to make it as exciting as we can, myself and Ringrose. But we can't. If only we should add sprinklers or something to one of the corners to make it spicy to see how these guys can negotiate the wet weather on one corner. I think Jeremy Clarkson wanted that into Formula 1 at one point, but that's the orangutan Clarkson for you. Lap 24 out of 30, and still plenty of time to go, Ringrose, and hopefully we shall see some overtaking on track.
Would be nice. Hopefully we can see some action. I think the only action we might get is between Danny and Jason, and between the two Toro Rosso guys. Maybe, but we will have to wait and see. I would expect Maranzano to be the first in out of the two Toro Rosso guys within sort of maybe this lap, or next couple of laps.
Yeah, he is a lead driver, so he should come into the pits first. That's the way it usually goes, but I'm sure these guys do it different.
Neither of them
differently.
Neither of them are, so
they should come
maybe
in until
slightly longer out there.
24, 25, 26 for super softs, unless, like I said, they don't think be able to do it. Tyre wear, they can actually do it. I've had a few glitches where they fix my front wing in qualifying. Even if I damage it, they fix it for me while I'm out there, rather than have to come back in the pits, which is lovely. But then I do start on a warm pair of whatever the tyre compound is when I do league race, which is few and far between, because I'm not very good at F1 league racing. Maybe a bit better at project cars, but I can't say much really. I'm sure you're a lot better at iRacing than F1 maybe at the moment, Ringrose, because you seem to do a lot of practicing in iRacing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to pick myself up. I'd like to think I'm a good driver, but I'm not gonna say I am. I wouldn't say I'm anywhere near these top guys though. They're way ahead of me at the moment.
Yeah, if only iRacing was as good. Sorry, if only F1 was as good as iRacing, but that isn't the current way it's going. But for a lap, they're keeping those soft tyres going. So these guys are doing pretty well on their tyre wear. Danny 1.5 behind Feisty Ted, and Jason a further 1 second behind Danny in that Haas car. The championship leader is going to need a big haul of points tonight to keep that lead, because currently Ted and Maranzano will be catching him up in their current position. But there's still 9 laps of the race to go. Joe has been overtaken by Menley. We've just missed that. Joe, but to be fair, Joe's got a load of penalties, so Joe could, at this rate, maybe even be disqualified if he continues with his penalties. I think he may be cutting the chicane, or maybe... Oh, a big diving move from Joe! That wasn't the cleanest of moves from the Mercedes driver, and dives down the inside of turn 2, and Joe back down to 6th now, and Joe has retired. I think Joe has pretty much given up on the race. Really not a great result for the Mercedes. Pulled in 3 there, but that means the new driver, the other Ferrari, will gain 7th place. Sorry, 6th place off Joe, because Langman isn't around. So Joe back in the pits there. Really not the best race from Joe, and hopefully he can come back stronger next week at Belgium, or no, we got a Christmas break now, haven't we? For SRL, I believe. Am I right in saying that, Ringrose?
I'm not 100%, but
I shall check the calendar for us.
Oh, that's the Ferrari driver in the wall.
Got that on
front wing there. So we will see if he comes into the pit lane. Looks like he's making some adjustments on the steering wheel, and indeed he does. I don't think he could go 8 laps with a bit of wing damage.
Yeah, definitely. If anyone knows where on the SRL website where the league is, that would be fantastic, because I'm not quite sure it is on this website. I can't seem to find it unless there is no calendar and they're just racing whenever. But I'm sure the league is far more professional than that. But the lead still with Maranzano, the force to be reckoned with. Really, he's really pulled it out of the bag in the last couple of races. A good podium last week at Silverstone. And Joe has left the session, unfortunately. Will Maranzano come into the pits? He doesn't. Maybe they're going to the end, Ringrose, because they're doing pretty well on their tyres and they're still going. Danny is actually catching him now, though. Danny is now almost in DRS range of Fighty Ted. So maybe they're going to the end.
I mean, it's going to be a very, very big push, but if these guys can do it, I mean, if any drivers can do it, I'd put these two near the top of my list to be able to keep these tyres going this long. But I think they'll get to a point where they'll just lose all their pace, and Danny and Jason will find it pretty easy to get past, because they'll just have so little traction.
Yeah, they're going to really struggle with traction. According to Joe, Maranzano has OP tyre wear, so and he means a lot of OP tyre wear. So we'll have to wait and see if Maranzano can be caught. But Danny is now within DRS range. Apparently there is a calendar. Bosley, if you can send it to me on Twitter, that would be fantastic if you're still watching, so I can see if we got. I believe we do have a break for a while now, because of the people celebrating Christmas. So what does everyone want for Christmas? Let me know in the chat what you're expecting. What are you expecting, Ringers? Anything nice for Christmas?
I know I'm getting a wheel stand.
Oh, nice.
A race bin would be nice. A racing one.
Yeah.
I haven't had one of them in a few months.
Yeah, I think I second that. I would like a race win. I don't think I've actually won in F1 2017.
I haven't won a race this game. I haven't won one on Project Cars or iRacing just yet. But Project Cars seems to be pretty broken at this moment in time still. It's a pretty similar state to F1, but you never know what happens. I've got a few interesting announcements lined up that involve league racing. Well, not league racing, but online racing, and maybe I don't know whether I should say this, but broadcasting. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to say any more. I'll leave
Is this
it at
for
that.
you or is this SRL?
This is for me.
Ah, okay, okay, very nice.
It's not
I'll have to wait
SRL.
and see.
Should be interesting.
Okay, we'll have to wait and hear about that. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I would like a win as well. I don't think the last win I had was in Noob Journey Wild, and I was on F1 2016. But Danny, back to the racing. Danny is on the back of Feisty Ted. The top four really close together now. And Feisty Ted is almost in the DRS of Maranzano, actually. So that we've finally got a battle towards the end, like 5 laps to go. And not long to go in this race, as I believe Bosley has sent me a link to the calendar. Perfect. So we just double check that for you guys. For season 5, we do. So the next race is on the 4th of January. So a little bit of a break due to everybody Christmas, well, going home for Christmas and the rest of it. I unfortunately will not be here, so someone else will take my place for that race, as I am in the French Alps snowboarding. So yeah, as much as I want to, I can't really bring my Xbox with me to the French Alps. Don't think I've got Wi-Fi in the apartment, so I don't think I could broadcast it. But to the race, the top are absolutely neck and neck now with 5 laps to go. And I think Danny and Jason may actually do this ring rose as we come towards the end, the tail end of this race.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to come into the pits now. Be interesting to see whether Maranzano, well, whether either driver might get a puncture. Because it's going to be very tight. Maranzano's been on these tyres since lap 8, so if he can do, what, nearly 27 laps on a set of soft tyres, it's going to be a stretch. But we got, I think Danny and Jason will find it pretty easy to get past these two.
Yeah, they're both very good drivers, though. That's the issue. All on equal levels, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. But I think just because the tyres will be so sort of, it's a bit. Remember, Jason has a penalty, so
of course
that is something to bear in mind.
Of course, we completely forgot about that.
You usually see that. But
yeah, just on board with a great helicopter.
I don't believe
shot here.
anyone else does.
No, I don't think anybody else does. But Danny on the back of Ted as they come through this the little S section. Ted goes defensive there. Round turn 12. Danny has the line. You will have the inside line a bit. Wheel bashing there. Ted's going to have to go around the outside on the penultimate bend. If he holds the inside line, he should be able to get it. He slipped back. He still has the inside line. Danny's going to have to go around the outside. And he's taking the move off. Jason is looking really tasty now as well. And Jason will have the slipstream and the DRS of Danny. And Ted loses the place and down to 4th. But of course, Jason has that penalty. So Jason, with 3 laps to go, is going to have to absolutely bolt it if he wants to get a podium tonight, Ringrose. Because at this rate, he ain't getting one.
No, he's sort of 3.5 laps left. And with the top 4 so close, you know, anything can happen, I've said.
Yeah, anything can happen here in Hungary. But Danny may get his first win of SRL. He hasn't been round meta for a few races, but he was back last week. Had a nightmare last week around Silverstone, so he may be able to redeem himself here at Hungary on the back of Maranzano. Will he make another overtake into turn 12? He did it last time. He looks to the inside, but a little bit too far back, I think, for now. But Danny, oh, he does look for a move around the penultimate bend as well. Maranzano not hitting the apex there. And Danny will have the DRS and the slipstream as he come to start lap number 13. Let's stay on board with this battle as they come down the straight. Maranzano, will he go defend? Doesn't even bother going at the moment. He's going to have to go around the outside if he wants to make a move. Maranzano, but very close. Maranzano pushes him there. Can he hold the line? Nope. And Maranzano drops back to 2nd place here. But technically still will have P2 because Jason has that 3-second penalty. But Danny is in the lead now of the of round 11 Hungarian Grand Prix. Jason looked very tasty behind Maranzano. He's gonna, will he try and make a move here? Oh, there's a big crash! Jason and Maranzano in the wall! Oh my, and that's Ted up the second. Contact between Jason and Maranzano, and they've both got damage.
I might like Ted a podium.
No. Oh no. Oh dear.
That is a very, I think that's the first big incident we've seen between top drivers this season while battling for the lead. Very, very controversial. Jason leading the championship, he's not going to be happy. Melanie's 25 seconds back. Can Melanie snap on this? It's going to be...
Yeah, it depends if these guys want to come in the pits or not.
They're going to stay out.
Yeah,
I mean,
they stay out.
About 34.
Yeah, I don't think Melanie's going to have a chance, unfortunately. But that could have been because of lag, or maybe just Maranzano thought Jason wasn't there
Jason's
and he had contact.
Ahead.
Yeah. Oh, Maranzano goes down the inside.
Maranzano's going to snap. Oh, contact!
Oh, more contact.
Jason's not going to be happy there. Jason backs out of it, thinks better. I wonder if we're seeing any Brendan Lee finger wags in that Haas. Yeah. Jason will not be approving of those moves from Maranzano.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to these guys. Currently, Maranzano does have P3, but Jason, of course, Jason has to get 3 seconds.
Yeah.
To Maranzano. So.
Oh, Jason thinks better of it. This is where they're really good. Oh, more contact there between. Getting really feisty between P1 and P2 in the championship. They've dropped quite a bit to Ted and Danny, but if all goes well, Danny looks like he's going to win this race.
Yeah, it looks
Melanie,
like.
Don't know if Melanie has any penalties. I think he might have one. No. So. Jason just have the one. Jason just has the one.
Yeah, I don't think Melanie's going to catch 12 seconds in one lap, unfortunately. The back of Jason. So I think unless Maranzano bins it, Jason's going to have to take P4. But either way, we're going to hear from one of them in. I
have to say, Jason's going to sneak up and move. Jason's going to be going for it. And he's going to be losing time to Melanie. I don't think Melanie's going to be able to catch that. Oh, closing that gap enough to be able to get that podium. Might be able to snatch fourth if there is contact between these two again. I think Jason might sneak up and move somewhere.
Oh, we say that.
Melanie, yeah, Melanie.
Commentator's curse.
A penalty once again. It was going to be very unlikely. It would have been interesting to see that happen, but he probably has no idea what's going on. He probably knows there's been contact, there's been an incident.
Yeah.
But Danny has driven a fantastic race and gets his first win of the season, and I believe that's the first win for Force India this season, with Ted 9.2 seconds back. So.
Yeah, guys fell off the cliff. So SRL Bosley, you are correct. Good prediction, mate. And after the incident, our prediction went right at the window, Ringrose. But who would you say your driver of the day was today in Hungary?
I think it's got to be. I would have said Maranzano if he didn't have that incident, managing to keep them tyres so long. But I'm going to say Danny, winning the race by 9.2 seconds in the end. In the end, pretty faultless race from him. It probably wasn't the most enjoyable race for Danny there, but at the end there, it's 25 points onto his total so far this season. And after the, I believe what should have been a win for Danny last week, he's managed to get it here around the Hungarian.
Yeah, he's redeemed himself there. I think I'm going to go with Ted because of his massive jump. Started P10 and managed to finish in P2. So a good recovery there from Ted. So, but we'll do a spot on main SRL chat. So let us You can vote on there on Twitter if you're on Twitter. So that is Force India holding up the trophy for the first place spot today, and that's the first, like Ringo said, the first win for Force India in SRL. But we'll just run down the grid. That's Vijay Mallya there in the Force India colours. But here we go. Danny wins it in first place. Ted had a 3-second penalty as well, actually, so that could have come into play, but unfortunately Maranzano and Jason had contact. But Maranzano in third, Jason fourth, Menley in fifth, Ants Mars in sixth, and that is everybody. 6 finishers. So if anything, Ants Mars has done a great job finishing sixth because he gets a load of points as well, but he was 1 lap down. But we will get the drivers in to the party chat, and we can talk to them about everything. We've got Ted and Danny in already, just waiting on Maranzano.
Maranzano is here as well.
Oh, they're all in already.
Do you want to start off with Danny? Start off with Danny?
Yeah.
Do you want to start?
We're efficient tonight, yeah. I'll start with Danny. Danny, you must be absolutely buzzing. First winner SRL. How are you feeling?
Yeah. So that I really enjoyed that. Yeah, this I think maybe about lap 27, 28, I realised that Ted and Maranzano weren't gonna pit. So I thought, right, I'm gonna start pushing now, and yeah, made the 2 overtakes and got into the lead, and just thought, yeah, this is now, I'm not gonna lose this from here. And yeah, I'm just don't really what to say. I really enjoyed that.
After last week's heartbreak, you've redeemed yourself there. Was it always a 2-stop,
Yeah.
sorry, a 1-stop race for you, or was it? Were you tempted by the 2-stop?
Oh. 1 lap after Maranzano pitted, I paused and checked what tyres he went on, and the next lap I was about to go on onto the softs, but I was like, oh, I'll do another lap and make my mind up. So I almost got a puncture on that lap, and thought, nah, it's pointless not to put the mediums on now. And the mediums towards the end, they felt as though they were getting better, so it was definitely the one way to go.
Great, cool. Ringrose, you want to hand it over with talk to Ted?
Yep, Ted. Wow. Pretty long stint on the soft tyres there. How are they looking at the end of the race?
Let's not talk about the wear, shall we? It was, I think it was about 85% at the end, but I thought, like, I started pretty much dead last because I kept on corner. I was probably going to get a similar time to Danny, but it's obviously it didn't happen. I had like 4 corner cuts in quali, so I started at the back, and I literally just picked my way through, and I thought I have a feeling these guys are going to go on medium, so I just went on the softs, and thought I might as well. I didn't have anything to lose, so I'll probably go on the mediums on Monday.
Another podium for you. Not sure if that moves you up in the championship, but you've had a very good championship so far. Do you agree?
The last few races, and I didn't do particularly good at the start. I'm gaining points on Jason from this race, so I'll just do whatever I can to minimise the gap, I guess.
Okay then, once again, congratulations on P2 and on your win, Danny. And Duke, would you like to move on to Maranzano?
Thank you.
Maranzano, right, everybody wants to know this. What happened with Jason at turn 4? Can you talk us through?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I choose for a very low downforce setup. That's why I pitted early as well, because I was like, fuck it, there's no way I'm gonna...
Don't tell him the setup, mate.
No worries. No, but I think 1 second behind, like, let's just get the undercut done. Going to the softs, and since I've got very low downforce, I was like, there's pretty much no way you can overtake me unless I bottle it in a corner somewhere. But as soon as my tires went off the cliff, it was just like I was 2 seconds off the pace, so it was pretty much gone. And Danny overtook me, and then like Jason was like, let's just ram him into the wall, you know, who cares? And yeah, P3 was.
I did record it, so if I got it in time, so we'll see.
Okay, but it's still. It seems every week that I commentate Maranzano, you're on the podium, so maybe I'm your good luck charm. And whenever I commentate over you.
Where was the good luck this time, Duke?
You still finish on the podium, so you can't complain.
I mean, it's 5 drivers finish, so yeah, It's what an accomplishment.
Very true, very true. So congratulations on that podium. But finally, back to Danny. So looking forward to after the Christmas break. Is that one of your good tracks? Belgium usually a great track for a lot of people, but how's it for you?
Yeah, I love Belgium. I love tracks like them. You know, usually I don't like tracks like Hungary. They're tight and twisty, but I enjoyed it, and yeah, I love Spa. So, but whether I'm quick there is a different story.
Yeah, well, you've got plenty of time to practice over the Christmas break now, so I'm sure you can nail it. So congratulations to the top three for tonight's podium. Thank you, Ringer, for joining me in the commentary box. If you guys want to watch more racing, I think the PS4 stream is about to start very soon, so go check that out. It will be on the SRL website and on the we'll post a link on Twitter. So hopefully everybody has a great Christmas, and we will see you back on the 4th of January for round number 12 of SRL F1. Good night.